2, 1.
And now for Pucks and Pints. Brought to you by Jimmy Sports Lounge in Kingston, Ontario.
Exclusively on YouTube and Facebook. It's time for the Pucks and Pints pre-show.
Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the show. Coach K here with Bacon and Big B.
Hi there.
Our first show of 2023. And we've got some great subjects lined up. Bacon, are you there?
I am here.
Well, you could say hello.
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 I was readying my beers for the show.
Yeah, we got beers. They're coming up. The show's coming up. It's pre-show. All right, guys. So, as usual, I'm going to kick us off with a few strange videos. Let's go into this one. I don't know if you guys heard or saw this. This was JT Miller. Absolutely. And I've lost the entire... There he is. Where is JT Miller?
It's up on screen.
I know he is, but I've lost the... There he is. All right, JT Miller absolutely losing it on his goalie. Now, of course, there's no audio, guys, but there they are. They're in a tight game against Winnipeg. Skate back.
So now you're under a minute in the third period.
Yeah.
You have possession of the puck.
Out of the net, you piece of shit.
Get out of the net. The hell
is everything falling apart? Is everything falling apart in Vancouver right now?
It looks that way. Holy Christ.
I mean,
that's a no-brainer. You're under a minute left. You have control of the puck, even if you're in your own zone, which Vancouver was. Leave. Go.
When has that ever happened, though? You know, usually you're collaborating together, right? You're like, I don't know. Here's another one, folks. Here's Ovi breaking Gordie Howe's record. And I don't know why these videos always like evade me. There we go. Here's Ovi in the old school Washington jerseys.
There you go.
And this was kind of a freaky goal, right?
You can see, they're trying to get him the goal.
I know, but I don't know if we can rewind this. It was like, watch it again here. Am I doing it? There's our 802.
Yeah, that's the one where you just kind of pulled up and plunked the empty netter, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I saw a funny graphic about that too. Was after it happened, it's like it came up and it showed him putting the goal in the net, and then it said every goalie in the NHL being glad that no one was in net and having to be the goalie of record for his go-ahead goal.
I remember, like they were playing Toronto and they're like, "Oh God, we don't want this to happen." And I'm sure every team they played, right?
Come on, now wouldn't you want to be part of that if you were the goalie? Because you would be forever in the record books as the guy who gave up the 802nd
as the loser,
which isn't a bad thing. I mean, he has 801 other goals. It's not like he's a nobody.
Yeah, but nobody remembers number 506. Everybody's going to remember the one to go ahead and
right. But that's the point. You're in the record books with him.
But
I suppose
they were in those shitty freaking uniforms.
Oh, you and your freaking uniform.
I can't stand it. I'm a
Holy
traditionalist,
Christ.
okay? I'm a traditionalist, Big B, and I don't like these stupid freaking uniforms. I don't like when Buffalo turns black. I don't like when the Rangers have red socks up to their panties. I don't like the way Canada looks. I don't like it. The USA, I was watching them just before we went live, all blue. Give me
Oh, yeah, I
break.
don't like the US's uniforms at all.
Put some color in those damn things. Now, Florida last night, they played like shit against the Rangers, but they looked beautiful.
Those jerseys were awful. You said the powder blue with the palm tree on the front.
Yeah,
That was terrible.
cross palm tree and the stick. Those are nice. I like those.
Terrible.
That's exactly where they're going to finish. All right, watch
Better
this
than
one.
having a gift from the French on the front of your jersey.
Let's go over to the let's go over to the
That was good.
I guess start this one over again. Yes.
And just while we're waiting for it to load, it's 1-0 Canada, by the way.
Good. All right.
I got the game on here to my left.
So is this
all right.
Canadian uniforms that you don't like either?
Watch that. You guys
They're wearing the blacks tonight.
it happened so fast you missed it.
Oh, yeah, this one. Yeah. Ugh.
Shade Wright,
Mhm.
the one everyone thought Montreal shouldn't take. Here we go.
Yeah, scores an own
Oopsie.
goal.
Oopsie. And you guys know me. I don't like this guy. I don't like him at all.
But I do have a question. What is the goalie doing? He sees the puck coming to him. Stop it. Just, put a glove down and don't move.
Also,
The goalie's
it's not
moving.
Shane Wright's fault. It's the goalie's fault.
I'm not saying it's the goalie's fault, but at that point, why are you moving away from the goalpost if the puck is coming right towards you?
Yeah, that goal specifically is a little of both. He shouldn't have tried to clear it around in front of his net. That was the biggest mistake.
Correct. No.
The second mistake is when the puck is on that right-hand side of the ice, that goalie should be glued to that post, expecting that the defender that's on right is going to take that puck and put a shot on net.
Right.
He totally was out of position.
Okay, so to end the pre-show here before, ladies and gentlemen, we get into the actual show, here's a little bit of eye candy. 7 points. Someone is going to get this guy. He doesn't play defense, in my opinion, but who am I to sign a multi-million-dollar contract? This is Connor Bedard, ladies and gentlemen, with 7 points. He's arrogant. He can't play defense.
Is he arrogant though? Do you think?
I don't.
He doesn't. In his interviews, he doesn't toot his own horn. He doesn't say me. He's just, hey, I'm here to play hockey, and that's what I'm here to do. And he does it damn well.
He's another Marner, and it took Marner 3 years to learn how to play defense.
So, do you have a theme song for Bedard yet?
I don't. I don't. Except he's got is he gonna wear that fucking cage in the NHL?
Well, by the time he gets it, I guess he'll be in there maybe next year, right? So who knows? By the time he gets in there, that might be mandatory.
I don't know.
Right now, Chicago's in line to get him.
Well, we're gonna talk about that when we get into the show. 7 points. He's got 23. He's beaten Lindros. He's beaten. He's tied with Emily for goals right now.
Yeah, he hasn't beaten Lindros yet. He'll do it tonight if he gets. I think he needs 1 point to beat Lindros tonight. I think.
So, I don't know.
I did think it was cool though that Lindros did tweet to him and say, "Hey, don't just beat the record, kid. Smash it. Like, good for you. Go for it."
I have many opinions on the style of those hockey players, but we'll save it for the show. Anyway, let's kick this baby off, ladies and gentlemen. We got a great show ahead of you. We got a hot seat. We got a new segment, and we've got our water cooler talk, and we're going to catch up on all this hockey stuff. So stay with us. We're going to turn on the radio, and away we're going to go.
And now for Pucks and Pints. Brought to you by Jimmy's Sports Lounge in Kingston, Ontario.
Ladies and gentlemen, please take your seats. The show is about to begin.
The 5 to 60 minutes on ice. Pucks and Pints Radio.
He shoots and scores.
It's hockey time. Here are your hosts, the Big B, Coach K, and Bacon.
The waiting is over. You believe in miracles? Yes!
And now for Pucks and Pints.
Well, good evening, everybody. Big shout out to Facebook user. Thanks for joining us here tonight. We're back, Pucks and Pints Radio. My name is Coach K. I am live in my cave, ready to speak some hockey with these guys tonight. Got Big B in his retro jersey over there in Queens, New York.
I'm waiting for the critique from the NHL fashion designer known as Coach K.
I just don't like the fucking socks, okay?
You don't like any of the retro jerseys, though.
I
just said
like
it on the pre-show
jerseys.
when you were in Detroit when they had the retro when you had
those
the
were
Detroit
shit.
Toronto game. The retro jerseys for Detroit you didn't like. You didn't like the Canada jerseys. You don't like any of the jerseys except for those terrible Florida jerseys from last night.
Let's get creative. Let's put a black bar across our jersey and put Detroit.
That's from like the 50s. What are you kidding me? Let's see what let's go back up to Windsor and see what the master of all things craft beer has to say over to Bacon.
Hey, yeah, I like some of the retros. Detroit's is not. I don't hate it. I don't really like it. One that I really thought was really cool. I don't know if you guys watched today or not. Was the Pittsburgh Boston Winter Classic game in at Fenway, and the Pittsburgh jersey I thought was phenomenal.
I liked when Boston walked in the Red Sox. Fire.
Yeah, Pittsburgh came in the Pirates. And the Pirate stuff too. It looked pretty cool. It's kind of a neat throwback and homage to being at Fenway. But yeah, the Pittsburgh jersey was pretty cool. I like the Boston one too, but I like the Pittsburgh one a lot better.
St. Louis is still my favorite, boys.
With the music note, eh?
Yeah, St. Louis and the Sharks doing the Golden Seals thing.
Yeah, the Sharks one is real nice. I like that.
Have we seen the Maple Leafs one yet?
Yeah, it's blue and white. We haven't changed.
Oh, it's the same jersey.
Yeah, it's kind of, I don't know. They need to do something. I don't know what else they can do. I mean, they've done the Pats. They've done the arenas. There's nothing else they can do. I mean, it's a pretty bland logo, to be honest with you.
And I'll be honest, like Big B's, he's proud. He's wearing that thing with the Statue of Liberty. The Ranger jersey that is the best is when they had Rangers down one side and New York when they were away. Those are the classic Ranger jerseys. I love them.
I'll take the. I have no problem with these. These are the same jerseys except the darker blue back from coming off of what Mike Richter's mask, I think it was.
Yeah, don't like
it with the Statue of Liberty on it.
Don't like it at all. I like the Ranger across the chest and New York when they're the visiting team. I like Buffalo when they're in the white with the baby blue, no fucking black. I don't like the Canes in black. The Canes say Canes in red on the front. I'm old school. I don't like this new shit. I don't like the San Jose Sharks in black. I don't like Toronto in black. There's a jersey that Toronto wears and they're wearing black. No.
Hey, be happy they're not wearing it inside out with that stupid happy face that Bieber designed on it.
Rather have it.
Oh,
We're not
no way.
black.
Oh,
We're
God,
blue
no.
and white.
Mm-mm.
So is Tampa. Tampa's blue and white. No,
Yeah, they have
black.
ugly jerseys. Tampa's throwbacks are disgusting.
There is no black. Wear your colors. Be who you are. And
Yes, I will agree with Facebook user that when Carolina, when they wore the Whalers throwbacks, those were awesome.
I was a big fan of the WHA back in the day.
And the Minnesota jerseys, the Minnesota throwbacks,
Yes,
of the
North
North
Stars.
North
Stars.
Stars.
Yeah, those are fantastic. I've actually, my son's got a North Star jersey hanging in the back there.
Those are the days, right? Don't do this shit. You like Detroit. I don't like Detroit to begin with, but they're red and they're white with the captain on the wrong side of the jersey. That's Detroit.
That's Detroit. Yeah. Yep.
Not that,
You don't like change ever.
no, especially when I pay for a ticket.
Does the jersey really affect the performance, though?
No, but
I think so.
like
I think it does. I
No,
absolutely think it does.
Not even a little.
If you don't look good, you don't play good. And
Well-
some of those teams look like piles of poo skating around.
Like, remember Toronto was in black and they were playing, I think, Tampa. Like, you need the contrast to the colors.
Mhm.
Whether it's
Yep,
blue against
absolutely.
white or who it is, especially the Rangers. I'm not against the Rangers, but I love their old school jerseys.
See, and that's the key with the Rangers. The key is because it's New York, right? You get the red, white, and blue. They're probably, when you think of an American hockey team, the Rangers are probably one of the first ones that come to mind.
Yeah.
Mainly because they're in the big metropolis in New York, right? So they get the red, white, and blue. There's a lot of variations they could do on them. But I don't know.
I don't like it.
And B, maybe I'll defer to you. Have they ever done a red jersey?
I think
I know it's normally white and
they've done practice red jerseys, not in game.
because that would be kind of a neat thing to see is a red throwback of some kind.
Yeah, it actually didn't. It didn't look bad. What the red jersey that I saw, I don't know, years ago was with the Statue of Liberty logo, but it was all red. And it was just a practice jersey, but I thought it looked cool.
Imagine,
nothing
Vic Hadfield and Jean Rattel and Raj Gilbert skating out in that fucking ridiculous jersey.
They would love it if they wore a jersey like this. Pride of New York.
I guess you could look at it from the standpoint too of if I'm playing in the NHL, if I'm wearing a jersey with an NHL team on it with my name on the back, I don't really care what it looks like because that's a prettiest prestigious
Exactly.
honor to wear to begin with.
I know, but I'm so old school. Anyway, boys, are you ready? Because I got a hot seat tonight.
I can't
It's
wait.
my turn, and
All right. Well, before you get all fired up, what are you drinking over there? I see bottles tipping, but I think it's probably
hang on.
just the
Let
usual.
me hang on a minute. Let me turn this down. Oh, for fuck's sake, this camera. All I have is a giant size blue to send me off to the new year.
And I see B. I think I saw you had your Grolsch.
Yep. Same Netherland beer.
Now you have
Well, I'm
like
the only.
beer of the
I'm the-
year club or something you've got going on now.
Well, see, okay, so I'm the only adventurous one here apparently. So for Christmas this year, my wife got me a beer of the month club,
Yes.
and
Yeah,
every month I get 6 different beers from all over North America. Some of these, and so coincidentally, with the World Juniors being on, I picked 2 out of the fridge tonight, not realizing where they were from, but one of them is called Good Robot Tropical Storm El Dorado.
I just can't get into your beer. This is not beer to me.
It's really good. This one is, I like this one a lot. It's kind of fruity. It's sort of, the label says
Beer
tastes
is
like
not
pineapple,
supposed to be
pear, and
fruity.
pervasive. What's that?
Beer is not
it's
supposed to be fruity.
No, domestic beer is not supposed to be fruity. Craft beer is supposed to be whatever it tastes like.
And
Why
craft
don't you
beer
just
is
drink
terrible.
mimosas? Why just
Oh,
join the mimosa of the month club?
Are you a
Ugh.
fan? Are you a fan of the worst beer ever made, which is an IPA?
well, interestingly enough, this one is an IPA.
Oh, it's terrible.
It
IPAs
tastes
are
like
the worst thing on this planet.
it tastes like pineapple, pear, and power outages is what it
For
says.
fuck's sakes. That is
But I'll
not
be
a
honest, it's
beer.
very good. Now, to go along with that, I have another one called Finacity, both of which are from Halifax, Nova Scotia, where the juniors are being
Okay,
held.
Bring the other one up. They spend more time on artwork than they do brewing the hops.
It's a Belgian
Some of them,
style
yes.
beer with
Yes.
prunes in it.
Oh, I hope there's no prunes in it because that's going to pose for an interesting show. But to go along with that, my daughter for Christmas got me some stuff, and one of them that I'm using just for our show is a beer journal.
Oh, a beer journal.
look at
What
that.
exactly is that? When you've drank too much fruity beer and you can't remember?
Well, so basically, as you go along, you can detail the name of the beer, what it tastes like, the brewery it came from, the city it came from, just so you get a list of kind of stuff. Now, I already did this on my phone. I've had a list going for 2 years on my phone that's got about 70 different beers on it. But yeah, this is my Pucks and Pints beer journal now for the show.
You know I love you to death, but this is not beer.
I beg to differ. This stuff, it's 7.5%. It's good.
Terrible. It's an IPA. It's terrible. I have to agree with Coach K on this. I know he's an old school guy and doesn't like change. As far as the jerseys go, he's completely 100% wrong. As far as the beer goes, he's 100% correct. I
wish you lived closer so you
Give me
could
a
try
beer.
it, because I think you would change your mind.
But we have all these microbreweries and all the, I'm in New York City, so they're all over Brooklyn, they're all over here in Queens. So, you try them here and there and they're all terrible because they all want to put flowers and paprika or whatever in it.
Yes, there are
It's
some that are
terrible.
very bad. Like there's
It's
a couple in
terrible.
my fridge right now that I don't know if I want to open.
We went there's a bar in Brooklyn called Barcade. It's got all these old video games from the 80s, the stand-up video games. And you go in there to get a beer. I don't know what I'm ordering because they got all these fruity names on it. So I just picked one. It turned out it was a triple IPA. It was the worst thing I've ever drank in my life.
Do you guys want to talk hockey or not? I mean,
We can.
it is
I suppose we
fine.
can.
It's,
Just for a little
All right, take another big swig of your 19-gallon blue, and now if it makes you feel any better, I am using a Labatt Blue glass.
fuck.
That's as close to blue as I'll ever get.
And don't get me wrong, Bacon. You know I like craft beer. I enjoy a good craft beer, but not these ones like Big B said with flowers and paprika and like mushrooms inside of it. I'm not into that. I'm sorry.
Yes, and that's the nice thing about the place that you and I like, Frank Brewing.
He's the best.
Generally their stuff is really, really good. They're I don't want to say they're not adventurous, but they're very good at what they do. Where you're right, B. Some of these, it's like, oh, this is delicious detergent I'm drinking.
Yeah, it's terrible.
Some
of it.
This
most-
is
a lot
really
of it.
good. Pass me another Tide Pod, if you will.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
All right, here we go, boys. I'm fired up, and it's my turn, so I'm not letting this go. And now, Stinky Lockers presents In the Hot Seat. Yeah, I'm a little bit smoking over this one. We've talked about this since the beginning of the year, how you're not allowed to talk to referees in minor hockey, let alone professional hockey. I know that some people were stung because and forgive me, ladies and gentlemen, this is a Maple Leaf topic. I'm not trying to do a Maple Leafs thing. I try to stay as neutral as possible on the show, but it just so happened I was watching a Maple Leaf game when this happened. So the Leafs traveled to, I believe, St. Louis, and they received a major fine. I'm cool with that. That's part of the labor agreement that they have written in stone, and it's up to them to change that. Whether the players and the team all agreed, we want to get there early, we want to be prepared, we won the game, whatever. What is really, really pissing me off, and it's really building up with me, and unfortunately, both these stories have to do with the Maple Leafs. About 3 weeks ago, Michael Bunting was pushed off the ice in a pretty violent measure, and I didn't say a lot about it. I was just thinking, hey, the players get penalized, the players get fined, yada yada yada. This guy's the ref is a AHL goon who became a ref. Nothing ever happened about it. Nothing. So I don't care what Bunting said. I don't care what he did. I don't care what happened. You don't fucking push people like that if you don't want people pushing back. And then we have Keefe. He's a pretty hot-headed guy. He's my kind of coach. I kind of coach along the same way he does. I like what he does. I'm a fan of him. A lot of people might not be. Yelling at the refs. Missed call on Justin Hall. Tied the game. They went into overtime. Another call. 16 stitches, I believe, on Austin Brees after the game. You're going to lose your shit. It's all one team. You stick up for your team. I call bullshit. What do you guys say?
Well, the push from the ref on Bunting, I'm surprised he didn't come back at him. Now, if you go back at the ref, there's heavy fines, heavy suspensions, everything else. But if that goes to the Department of Player Safety or, whatever the process is to go through that, they would need to look at it from an objective standpoint and say, yeah, he was thrown off the ice. He wasn't directed off the ice. He literally grabbed him by the shirt and threw him through the door. And even Bunting was like, dude, what are you doing? Like, you can read his lips. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
So, in that respect, I feel that, he probably could have retaliated. He may have gotten some retribution or some fine from it, but it might not be as bad as it would have if it was just somebody taking it out on the ref.
But should have the ref got something?
He definitely should have, right?
Situation.
And that's the thing, right?
We're all
it should have been reviewed. Whether or not it was reviewed, I don't know. Like, I know they were talking about, at the time of, the announcers had said, well, this will probably be reviewed and blah, blah, blah. But it probably never was.
Never was.
But absolutely, he should have been something. I don't know if it's, a suspension or if it's a fine, or I don't know what they do for the refs. I really don't. Who knows? Because they're not as visible as the players for most part, because they rotate in a team around, whatever their circuit is.
No, but if you do something at your job, you are reprimanded, right?
Yeah, should be. Yeah, absolutely.
A player, whether we agree or disagree, they get reprimanded. They get games or they get fines.
Yeah.
Bullshit.
Yeah.
On the Bunting call. Big B, you are the former referee. What do you see there?
I when I saw the call, first he literally pulled him away like this, instead of just like kind of pushing him off like this, grabbed him like Bacon said, and pulled him, dragged him off the ice. Going off to the board, you see Bunting, he's not yelling at the ref, he's yelling at the scrum that just happened, and just kind of sticking his head out a little bit as he's going off in the runway. And the ref is like doing this completely uncalled for. He's not talking to the ref at all. He's not going back at the ref. He's yelling at whoever the scrum was. So that absolutely should be reviewed. That was completely unnecessary. And like you said, when he starts doing that, Bunting's looking at him like, what are you doing? The problem is, and it's not only the NHL, it seems in all sports, all professional sports, you can't the officials, the officiating, the referees, umpires, whoever, are by the league almost deemed infallible, because you can't say that they were bad. You can't say this person missed a call. They had a really bad game. Anything negative against the refs, the coaches will get fined. The team will get fined. So you cannot touch the refs. You can't say anything bad about them. And it's the same. If they were to suspend that referee or fine him for anything, they would then deem the referees fallible, which they don't want to portray that to anybody else.
How do you make things right? I guess is what I'm trying to do. You know, like we've gone through this minor hockey shit and how coaches aren't allowed to speak to refs anymore, and it's all ridiculous. How do you set things straight, I guess, is where this comes. And did Keefe deserve that fine? Probably didn't hurt him in the least.
Right. No,
part of his fines came from before the game as well, about things he said before the game even started.
And that's what I'm saying. It's ridiculous that you can't comment on officiating. I mean, we've all seen games where, I've watched the Rangers right before the break playing Tampa, whoever it was, Washington. There's tripping calls and interference calls on that occurred against the Rangers that were never called. And you see Gerard Gallant losing his crap on the bench. Yeah. But again, when it comes to the interviews, the refereeing didn't change the game for us, this and that. You're not allowed to say anything.
Maybe you guys are right. It's not a matter of losing it. But what I'm understanding, what Bacon is explaining to me in the new world of hockey is, we can't even question things anymore.
No, you can't.
You can't.
It's just a matter sometimes of, hey, ref, can you explain to me what you saw? Make me understand what you saw. It's not yelling. It's not calling the guy a name. It's not being belligerent at all. Help me understand the call on the ice. And I get it.
Yeah, it's
these guys
at the minor level. It's really tough because when you ask that question, you say, "Hey, let me know, what did you see?" And they just go nothing, and they skate away.
Yeah, and that's the worst for a coach, right?
Okay, well, you saw nothing really. Like you saw something and chose not to call it. What you saw, but
and again, I'm going to a more micro version of being a coach. I'm not in the NHL, but I'm sure it's the same way, where the ref says, "This is what happened. This is why I called this foul," and I'm like, "Cool. I need to explain that to my team."
Mm-hmm.
So it doesn't happen again. Now I get it, like Gallant and Keefe and all these guys losing their minds on the ice. I'm the same way. You're for your team. You see what you see, and for the most part, I know why they lose their minds. Big B is because the referees will not come talk to them. If they would come, there's so many times during a hockey game, if you watch and the ref or the linesman comes speak to the coach and they talk, and usually everything's okay, agree or disagree. It's when the ref skates away that there's a problem.
Yeah, and doesn't give them the time of the day or whatever. It's and like we've talked about it before. I've been victim to it at the minor level, and the worst is, hey, why did you call that? Well, because I called it, and then they skate away. Come on, man, like, you're reffing 15 to 20-year-old kids here. Like, they know they did wrong. Tell me exactly why you called what you did so I can prevent it from happening again.
Right. Give me a reason, and I will address it. But
a lot of times they don't even want to engage because they don't want to justify the decision they've made.
I thought that fine was wrong, by the way, boys.
I think both fines were terrible. I understand the traveling is all in the CBA, but that's ridiculous. I mean,
Yeah, that one's dumb.
By 2 hours, they couldn't travel up until midnight of Boxing Day going into the 27th, whatever it is. So
We're a
they
multi-million
traveled at
dollar
10
hockey
o'clock.
club. Don't tell me when I can get on a plane and when I can't.
Exactly.
Well,
and it was like, and they're not
But I
doing, they're not doing hockey activity. The wording in the CBA is hockey activity. They're traveling. They're not practicing. They're not doing drills. They're traveling to their next game.
Well, traveling for hockey activity, right? So I mean,
but is not engaging in hockey activity.
Right. Yeah, it's kind of goofy. Like,
I'm not so bummed out about that one because it is an actual rule. So, what I'm bummed out at is these refs seem to get away with everything at every single level we play at. And I don't care if they're volunteers or who the hell they are. And I know your son does it, Bacon, but he's
got to be accountable, though.
You need to be accountable to the book. And,
we need more Wes McCauley's.
Yeah, you don't need to be.
He wasn't afraid to talk to a coach,
but you don't need to be abused. You just need to, be accountable.
It could be coming from the NHL too, when you're talking on the professional level, where the refs are being pushed to speed up the game and not engage in a conversation at the bench. Just go drop the puck and get the game moving.
Well, that could also be part of it, right?
Yeah.
You see that in a lot of major sports now.
Yeah.
Still a problem.
No, I agree 100%. It's a problem, but I mean, it's just one of the reasons that it might happen.
Anyway, guys, another one of our really cool segments, and I'm going to get you guys to mute. I probably got to mute Bacon.
I can mute.
Oh, Bacon says he can mute. Here is the one and only Jay Vegas, ladies and gentlemen, with the Jay Vegas picks of the week.
Hey, folks. Welcome back to another edition of Pucks and Pints featuring the Jay Vegas pick of the week. We're coming off a win. We're coming off another win last week. We ended up taking the under, and we still got the under in spite of overtime. So we're sitting at, I think our record right now is 11-6. So I got a lot of work to do here, folks. So I'm going to get right into this week's pick. Just scratching all the winter, Christmas, holiday scratch tickets that I've accumulated over the holidays. Nothing yet. I mean, under this table, there's probably about 7 pounds of scratch shrapnel. I don't even have a free fucking ticket yet. We're going to keep working on it. We're going to hit something. Look, we're going to move from the NHL, and what we're going to do is this week we're entering the elimination round of the World Juniors Hockey Tournament. I don't like going with big favorites in situations like this. As you know, with the CFL, we didn't take the favorite to win the Grey Cup. And we won that. That hit, thankfully. But what we're doing this week is we're going to the World Juniors, and yeah, we're taking Canada. Depending on how you shop for your line in this particular bet, you're looking at anywhere between -120, and -130. I happen to pick them up at -125 at Bet99. There's several sites that don't allow betting, that you can't bet on World Juniors, but Bet99, 888 Sport both have lines, and they're dropping -125 right now on Canada. And we're taking Canada to win the entire tournament, meaning they'll have to win 3 more games. 3 more games starting today, so including today's game that's already over. So yeah, folks, that's going to be it. We're taking Team Canada World Juniors Under 20 League to win the entire tournament. And yeah, we're laying a little bit of juice, 127, but Canada is rolling, folks. They lost the first game, I believe, to Czech. And then it was like 11-2, 10-0. They've been just demolishing teams. So we're going to hope for that to continue. We're going to hope for some winning scratch tickets here. B19, that's never a good number. Anyway, Canada World Juniors to win the whole tournament should be over by this weekend. Good luck, folks. And I hope you hit your bets.
There you go, ladies and gentlemen. Jay Vegas, always a lot of fun, always unpredictable. Don't know if Big B's going to like that after Michigan's, I should say Michigan. Oh my God, I can't believe I said that. The USA's shellacking of Germany tonight. He's picking Canada all the way, Big B.
I mean, he's from Canada. I wouldn't expect him to pick anybody else but Canada. Canada, after coming off that loss, the opening loss, they shellacked, I forget who they beat, like 11-0 or 11-3.
Yeah, they killed everyone they faced, but the Americans looked, oh my God, do the Americans look good tonight.
Well, if we make it down to USA, Canada, we'll see.
And then we already beat Sweden, Bacon, on New Year's Eve. I thought you muted yourself.
Why does it look like he's giving you the finger?
Oh, that's exactly what it is.
You must keep that handy. You told me.
Oh, see,
you muted yourself.
I can mute myself. I have a button right here on my mic that I can. More, and now you can hear me again.
Yeah, we don't want to hear you, but you're back.
Yes, it was Austria. They shellacked Austria. Now everyone shellacked Austria.
All right,
so that's
drink
kind of
some
a
kiwi beer. And anyway, the Americans look good. I was watching. I'm not watching the Canadians actually because I'm down here with you guys. But the Americans look good. Logan Cooley, a bunch of boys. And Canada already beat Sweden on New Year's Eve. This is not right. This is when I worry about this. You know, you want to talk about the NHL playoffs. I still think it should be 1 through 8.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of the way the juniors are set up.
Are playing each other.
Yeah, the way the juniors are set up, I'm not a big fan of the way it now. I say that knowing that in the last 3 years there's been no relegation. So after this year, things may jostle up a little bit because some teams are going to play themselves right out. You know, like Austria, you won't see them probably next year at all. But I think it needs to be set up a little bit better so that, you know, you don't have teams, you know, Austria, Germany wasn't a terrible game, but, you know, Canada shouldn't have to play Austria and beat them 11-0.
Right. No, I get it, but
I mean, it happens. It happens in every tournament you go to, but it's, you know, it's
we could talk about the NCAA football. We could talk about basketball. We could talk about NFL, but we're here to talk about NHL. And I am still a huge proponent of the 1 through 8. What do you guys say?
I like that too.
I do. I like it a lot.
Yeah.
I used to use it in softball all the time. I would, you know, people would fight me and say, "Oh, it's going to be top 2 from each division." No. No, it's 1 to 8.
Mm-hmm.
1 plays 8, 2 plays 7, 6 plays 5. Yeah, it's, you know, so it's the way it is.
Yep.
It's only fair. And you know, we've got the battle of the Atlantic going on between the big 3, and I don't think one team from that division is going to make the playoffs with what's going on in the Metro. You got your big 3 and you're in, and that's it.
Yeah, there are between the Metro and the East. There are a lot of teams doing a lot of good right now that are going to make a lot of teams in some of those other divisions look really, really dumb come playoff time.
Now, I was going to do a segment, but we kind of carried on with the beer and stuff like that. So I think we should just go into our water cooler talk. I know Big B had something he wanted to ask us, and there's a lot to do now. We are getting to D-Day, ladies and gentlemen, in the NHL.
And now, NHLShop.com presents breaking news and water cooler talk.
Yeah, Big B texted me something this week. I'll let you kick it off, Big B, before I get into anything else.
So I was looking at the standings as they sit right now, looking ahead to the playoffs. If you could pick out of each conference one team that's outside the playoffs looking in, that realistically has a chance, like, you're not going to pick Arizona, but as realistically has a chance to get into the playoffs, what do they need as far as players go? What do they need to do as far as, change lines, whatever? What do they need? What do they need to do to leapfrog some of those teams ahead of them to get into the playoffs?
So you realize right now, wow, the Capitals are just outside the playoffs.
No, the Capitals are in.
Oh, the Capitals are in. You're right. Yeah,
third
in the Metro with 47 points.
Yep.
See, here's the problem though, because I mean, what do you consider that cutoff for outside of the playoffs, right? Like if you look at the Atlantic, you've got, the Bruins and the Leafs. Bruins with 62 points, Leafs with 52, Lightning at 47. So I mean, that's probably the line because the next closest team is the Wings with 39.
Right.
Right. And then, but after the 39, there's the Wings, the Sabres, the Senators, and the Panthers at 39, 38, 37, 36.
Yeah, but you're also looking at the Oilers and the Avalanche. They're outside.
I know, yeah. And that's the key, right? Is you flip to the other division. So if 40, let's say 45 is the cutoff.
Yeah.
The Capitals are technically in, as are the Rangers.
Well, the
Penguins would be sitting right on that bubble.
So he's saying as of today. So
as of today, you look at the teams in the standings.
What would you do if you were the Islanders, the Red Wings, or the Sabres? You're close.
Right. Yeah. What team realistically has a chance to get into the playoffs? Because you're looking at, Montreal, I know you said 4 or 5. They're not going to get in. Arizona is not going to get in. So what team realistically has a chance to get in?
Well, the Blues at one point 2 years ago were dead last.
Go to the East. Let's go to the East first, because I always find the East a little more perplexing.
It's much tighter than the West.
You've got the Islanders, the Red Wings.
Yep.
What would you do, Bacon? What is this a year, or will you pass?
The Pens, the Islanders, and the Wings are the 3 that are on that bubble within 4 points of each other.
And the Pens have no chance in the next couple of years. Like, the Pens are all in, right? Like, they're all veterans. They're all similar to Washington.
And they're number 2 currently in the wild card. So they're in.
But you're a Detroit. You're an Islander. What are you going to do, Bacon? Where do you sit here?
Yeah, that's a good one. I was thinking about that this afternoon. Based on our show notes, and I was thinking, who needs to do what to make something happen? I mean, there's a few players out there that are available. I don't know if the players like, the JT Millers and the players like that would make a substantial difference. If the Wings said, hey, you know what, we'll buy out your contract, we'll pull you over.
What if they got Horvat and signed him? Would that would that put the Wings on a fast track?
I could see Horvat flourishing on the Islanders a little more than the Wings, I think. The Wings is kind of a tough nut to crack. They put that team together, like Lego. It's just, this piece goes here, this piece goes here.
Steve Yzerman does not do anything. Steve Yzerman does not do anything like fucking Lego.
I don't know, man. I think he's a little more calculated than people give him credit for. I could see him, realistically, if he went to the Islanders, I could see them push, and as much as I don't want to say it, I could see him take over the Rangers spot and push the Rangers onto that bubble.
I don't see the Rangers. You'd have to give up too much. They talked about the Leafs. They talked about Colorado. There's too much to give up for a rental on this boy. He's good, but he ain't got that good.
And therein lies the other problem: is the Islanders, the Penguins, and the Wings don't have enough to give up to get him to keep them in the race. Like they would have to cripple themselves to get them into that race. So
at a few weeks ago, we were doing the potential trades, and I said Bo Horvat to the Islanders. If they are close, Lou Lamoriello will push to make that happen.
Lou Lamoriello does not do shit.
They have the cap space. He'll work out something as far as minor leaguers and guys on the bubble to make the NHL team. I think Bo Horvat to the Islanders pushes them over the edge to get in. Whether or not they overtake the Rangers, I'm not so sure about that. I mean, they could overtake the Penguins maybe. Penguins are all in, but they're still struggling. They're number 2 on the wild card. Islanders, if they make a move and get Horvat or somebody similar, scoring up in the middle, they can make a push.
I think Big B is huge on the Islanders this year. I don't have them. They got good defense. They got good goaltending. I hear you. You could be right. What about Ryan O'Reilly, boys? Ryan O'Reilly, I think, is a real prize, and I don't think it's going to cost you more than a second.
Well, like I said, when we talked about that, I was watching the NHL Network whenever it was, and they were talking about Ryan O'Reilly and the Blues staying together. So I don't know about that.
Yeah, you're against that, but what about Ryan O'Reilly to the Leafs? Like maybe Robertson. He's a useless piece of shit.
I think I don't know. I think O'Reilly 3 years ago would have been a good move. O'Reilly now, I think he's just biding his time until it's retirement.
I don't
see much out of him anymore.
I still think he's a phenomenal hockey player. And so who's your guy? You want a Patty Kane? You want a Bo Horvat? You want guys that are going to score goals, or you want a little bit of meat and potatoes? I like Ryan O'Reilly.
The only, the upside to O'Reilly is
O'Reilly to the Dallas Stars, because I think they are so close to the cup right now.
Yeah, I mean, the upside to O'Reilly is that he's not afraid to get in there and get physical. Whereas, you got a guy like Kane, like you said, he's a goal scorer. He's like a Matthews. He shies away. He'll start some crap and then he'll skate away, and that's really it,
He's not as pretty as things look. I'm telling you right now. I love Kane. Don't get me wrong. Who's going to get Taves? Will someone get Taves down the middle? Another one that might fit perfect in Dallas.
Well, see, and that's the question. And B, I'll let you jump in here as well. Kane and Taves, it's already been said. It's just a matter of time until Kane, says, "Hey, I'm ready to go." And part of me thinks he was hanging on for that 1,000th game with Taves. That's a pretty big, significant milestone to be together for that many games, and to say, "Look, we've played 1,000 games together. All right, cool. That milestone is met. Now send me somewhere where I can win a cup. Send me somewhere where it's going to be, a cup in the next, year or so versus, the next 5 years."
Right, and that's all the rumors here in New York is Kane to the Rangers, and Lafreniere going the other way, the pick of the week going the other way. Basically, all these rumors going around, but everything Kane loved being on the line with Panarin when they were in Chicago. That was one of his best friends, and he's going to go. All the rumors are surrounding that Kane's going to go to the Rangers.
Is he the guy that's going to push you over the top, though? If you had,
I don't know about that.
If you had one player, okay, so there's no trades, there's no whatever. You had one player that's going to push you over the top.
Mm-hmm.
Who's it going to be? Is it really Patty Kane?
To push them over the top? No. I mean, the Rangers need 5-on-5 scoring desperately. They are bad 5-on-5. I don't know if Patrick Kane is that answer, but all signs point to that's the trade that's going to happen. I don't think he puts them over the edge. They need a scorer like, and it's never going to, in a trade, it's never going to happen, like a top tier Austin Matthews, Connor McDavid person that can sit there 5-on-5 and score. Zibanejad's a monster on the power play. Panarin is a monster passer. There's no pure scorer on this team, and that's where they're hurting in 5-on-5.
And who's your guy for the Leafs, Bacon?
Oh boy!
If you wish list.
Oh, if I had a wish list, okay. So I like the way they're playing. I mean, they're playing really, really well. They're playing good hockey. They're playing together hockey. They need some physicality. I've said this for the entire duration of this show, and I've said this for the last 2 years. You bring in guys. Oh yeah, we got Kyle Clifford and we got Zach Muzzin and we got. Oh yeah, this is gonna be the fight we need. And these guys are just nothing. Like, it just drives me nuts. I wish we could get a Patrick Kane type player with the ferocity of Ryan Reeves and stick them together. And then say, this is our player.
O'Reilly.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
I'll take Ryan O'Reilly any day. That's just me, folks.
I think I'd take Jamie Benn over Ryan O'Reilly.
Nah, Jamie Benn ain't going anywhere. They're going for a cup.
Oh, of course not. Of course not. But,
but we're talking wish list.
If the option was Jamie Benn and Ryan O'Reilly, I'd fight for Benn. You get the leadership, you get the scoring, and he's not afraid to get in there and muck it up a little bit. O'Reilly is also not afraid to get in there, but I don't think he's got the leadership side of it.
Dallas is going for it. And they're gonna.
Oh, I think so. I think so. Absolutely. 100%.
And again, I don't have the cap space in front of me.
Yeah. Well, that's the problem with a lot of teams, right? There's a lot of teams that want a lot of things. Nobody's got money to move.
Well, Toronto does.
Problem this year.
And New York does. And there's room to move.
The Rangers are projected to have 7-point-something million at the trade deadline.
In Toronto with Muzzin and Mete and Robertson and there's room. But
and 7 at the trade deadline, that'll get you.
Don't blow a first round pick for freaking Foligno again. That was bullshit.
Yeah.
I don't know. I honestly don't know what teams are going to do, but I'd put Horvat with Detroit or the Islanders.
See, I put Horvat either with the Islanders or with Colorado.
How are they going to fit him?
They need help.
How are they going to fit him?
They are a banged up team. They need help.
Yeah, they're in a mess. How about Edmonton? What is on Edmonton's wish list before we go to
goaltending?
Defense, goaltending,
defense, and goaltending.
So is Chickering?
Stuart Skinner's doing great, but Campbell, bye-bye. Like they need a peewee goalie that can stand in there and stop a puck.
I feel bad. I was all behind. I was so behind Campbell going to the Oilers.
No.
Hey, Ken and I have said it before. We are huge Campbell fans.
Love the guy.
Unfortunately, when that kid gets in the net anymore, you might as well just turn the damn thing around backwards and take him out of the equation.
Terrible. He's terrible. And what we got in Toronto now might be a mess, but it's better than what we had. I don't know.
Yeah, it's tough coming back off injuries too, right? You got both those goalies coming off injuries and coming off a timeout, and I don't know. They don't look terrible. I mean, they don't look great, but they don't look terrible. They don't look Campbell bad. Let's put it that way.
All right, let's see what Mike Jolis has to say, and then we'll shoot some more shit when we get back here, boys and girls. Mike Jolis, a big friend of the show with the Sports Minute.
Now it's time for Sports Minute with Mike Jollitz.
Hello, everybody over there at Pucks and Pints. Man, I hope you guys are doing good. Hope you guys are having a kick-ass show. Happy 2023. All right, so hello, Coach K, hello, Sir Big B, and hello, Bacon. All right, guys, it is now time for the Sports Minute. The Bowl Championship Series is still going on. I love it. So it's going to be TCU against Georgia in the national championship. Both Michigan and Ohio State lost. So much for a Big Ten championship. And in NFL news, the Packers beat the Vikings. Tampa Bay won. San Fran bested the Raiders in overtime. Denver lost. The Jets lost. And they were knocked out of the playoffs. Nah. And finally, in this rather short sports minute, in the NFC, the playoffs are Philadelphia Eagles, San Francisco 49ers, Minnesota, Tampa Bay, Dallas, the New York Giants, followed by Seattle. Now, the Packers still have a chance to get in if they beat Detroit. So we'll see what happens there. Alrighty, guys, that does it for the Sports Minute. You guys have a great show. I'll be checking it out later. Take care, guys. Bye-bye.
All right, Mike Jollitz, guys.
Always like the Mike Jollitz.
With the sports. Oh boy. My mouse is not working. There we go.
There you go. Is Bacon unmuted before he gives you the finger?
Yes, he is.
Oh, there you go.
You don't need to mute yourself during audio, only during
Okay.
video.
I just didn't want him to give you the finger again.
And as a quick update, it's 2-1 Canada. Slovakia just scored.
That's it, eh?
That's it. It looks pretty uneventful, to be honest with you.
We're in trouble. All right, boys. Listen, let's close it up with this.
I got a shout out after you got this.
No, go ahead. Shout out.
All right, I'm gonna throw a shout out to the Windsor Spitfires organization and to RMHA, Riverside Minor Hockey. They had a Bantam Midget International Tournament. It happens every Christmas on the 27, 28, 29, 30. Team from Denmark came. And as many players and organizations have experienced, they came over and none of their hockey sticks showed up. Air Canada lost their hockey sticks. They lost 3 sets of equipment for 3 players.
Wow.
So upon hearing that, RMHA, they got a bunch of their other teams to donate some stuff. They went to the Spitz organization because they're in the same building, and they said, hey, can you help us out? And the Spitz organization, in conjunction with RMHA, got all these guys equipment, got them sticks, got them everything they needed to compete. They did pretty well. They ended up having to leave early due to time constraints, which was kind of a bummer because I came to watch them play and they weren't in the final. But yeah, there were some big boys from Denmark, man. There's kids that were 6'4", 6'5", like big kids.
Nice.
Stick taps.
But yeah, big shout out to them for stepping
even
up and helping those kids out. And
even coming over to Canada to play, and we know there's nothing bigger than the game, ladies and gentlemen. So yeah.
Absolutely. And keeping in that theme with the Air Canada losing equipment, the Canadian team went over to, I don't even know where they played at the Spengler Cup this year. I'm guessing it was in maybe Denmark or Sweden or one of those countries. Mikey DiPietro, who was a local boy here, who played for the Spitz, who's played for the Canucks, he went over. His gear never showed up, so they called a Canadian Swiss-born, I guess it was in Switzerland. They called a Canadian Swiss-born dual citizen and said, hey, Connor Hughes, you're playing net for us until his equipment shows up. Unfortunately, it never showed up the entire tournament, so he never saw any ice.
Wow. Cool shit.
Yeah.
Cool shit. All right. here is the closing. Yeah, we've got about 4 minutes. You've got Anaheim, Chicago, and not surprising to me, but maybe surprising to everyone else, the Columbus Blue Jackets. Who you say get Connor Bedard, Big B?
Right now, I say Chicago. They are going to get rid of Kane and Taves, so they're just going to completely tank for Bedard, as they say. Not actually tank, but I say Chicago. Although I have a question: would Bedard make Goudreau better in Columbus?
No.
Okay.
No, they're the same hockey player.
I think if Bedard ends up in Columbus, maybe he options himself to the AHL for a couple of years or something.
I don't see Bedard. Columbus is a mess right now. He's not the guy. He's not your Austin Matthews, your Jack Eichel, your he's not your guy that's going to score goals. Big B. He's sweet. He's pretty.
Okay. I still say he's going to Chicago.
Savior of the
yeah, it's probably a shootout between the Ducks and the Hawks based on the points, but I think you're right. I think maybe he ends up in Chicago.
I think if he gets to the Ducks, then we have a very interesting team there.
Well, think of it this way. Do you think maybe, Kane and Taves are on the block, to be moved at some point here, but do you think, knowing that they're doing so poorly and that the option is there that Bedard could show up, do they stick around in hopes that they get that third missing piece and all of a sudden, hey, you've got a pretty strong front line, in the first two lines there?
I still don't think he's as good as you guys think he is, but anyway.
I don't think they stick around.
I mean,
in Anaheim, I think he would cause trouble. Anaheim has a lot. I think he could cause trouble in Anaheim, but I don't know. You're watching Lafreniere right now. I thought that boy was something special, but
yeah, he sort of showed up and did a whole lot of nothing, huh?
He's done a whole lot of nothing, but he's been bounced around the line too. Yeah, he's been bounced around the lineup too. So I don't know how much that has to do with it too. I mean, playing on the third line, fourth line, not playing real minutes as far as scoring goes, not getting a chance in the top six, not getting a chance on the power play.
There's always that fit too, right? Like, somebody goes to a team and they just don't jive with that team, and then they end up somewhere else, and all of a sudden, hey, they're flourishing like crazy.
Right.
Maybe that's part of it. I don't know. 3-1 Canada, real quick.
Goes to Montreal. You never know.
Who goes to Montreal?
Lafreniere.
For who?
I have no idea. Draft picks.
The Canadian
Anderson.
They try to make all those rumors out of everybody's going to Montreal. There's always rumors that the entire league is going to go to Montreal. Connor McDavid's going to go to Montreal. No, he's not. So no, he's not going to go to Montreal. They don't have anything to send to the Rangers.
It's funny that you say that. Did you see real quick when Twitter came out and said, anybody can buy one of these little blue check marks for $8 to become verified? So people were buying up all the celebrity accounts, and there's one for McDavid saying, hey, my time here at Edmonton is done. It's been great, but now I'm moving on to, I don't even know where it was just some ridiculous team like Detroit or something. And it was like, yeah, this is clearly fake. Maybe that's what Montreal's doing.
Right. Yeah.
Buying the blue check mark.
Making all the rumors themselves.
I don't know, boys. All right, here we go. It's another 60 minutes. We've done it all, and we'll be back with you again next week. Been a fun show. Here we go.
Thank you
See ya.
to all the listeners on our affiliate stations. To find out more, check out Pucks and Pints Radio on Facebook and Twitter.
Thanks for listening. We hope you enjoyed the show.
Subscribe to our YouTube channel now and make sure you never miss another upload.
This is Pucks and Pints.